Good afternoon, Colony. My name is the Colonist, and today we have for you a Hell in a Cell Tornado Tag Team match between the martial artists we haven't seen in forever, Bruce Lee and Johnny Cage, going up against the other Rangers. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying that be prepared that this match is just going to be a regular tornado tag match with a cage around it. Because this game, Breaking the Fourth Wall, loves to do that, where it's a Hell in a Cell, but there's no hell. It's just the cage is there. Like, they don't even use it. Like, it's kind of pathetic. Like, I'd actually have to, like, be somebody and use the cage and do crazy-ass spots, which may happen sometime. You know, I'll give you this. I'm going to completely just smash the fourth wall right now. If a Hell in a Cell match is ever made, I will play as one of them just to make the match interesting. Otherwise, because this will probably be the blandest Hell in a Cell match you've ever seen. Just prefacing it now, but maybe, I might be pleasantly surprised, but I'm kind of doubting it at this point because my hopes have been put up too many times. Like, by the way, shout out to Joshua Campbell. I'm sorry, I've been so behind on TAW. I'm looking at stuff from like February right now because I'm trying to catch up with it, and I just love Elmo. I love what Elmo's done. I have not been able to watch it just for so long, and I'm finally catching up on it. I think I'm about to watch the Statue of Liberty compete in one of the Femme Fatale Fatal 4-Way Extreme Rules matches. That's where I'm at right now. It's like House Show 8. So I'm a little behind, but I'm getting there. I'm getting up to House Show 15, the pay-per-view, which I'm excited to see. But I need to get the build-up first, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta actually, like, start it out. Here come the martial artists. Or just Bruce Lee.
On the way to the ring, from Canada, the Bruiser.
I honestly thought that Bruce Lee and Johnny Cage would come out together, but I guess they don't like each other enough to have that happen. Bruce Lee coming out on his own, and as usual, wearing his Game of Death outfit, which is pretty much the only one he wears nowadays. But Bruce Lee has not had the greatest of records in CIW. In fact, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, he has yet to win a match. And I'm looking for him now. Where the hell is he? Because I'm checking the stat book as we speak. No. There he is. Yeah, he is yet to win. He's only been in one match, and he lost that match. And he was pinned in that match. So, he's got something to prove here. As does Johnny Cage, who has come close but has yet to grasp it. And speaking of, here comes Johnny Cage.
From Los Angeles, California, Hollywood.
I'm a fan of Johnny Cage. I'm not a fan of this Johnny Cage, but if you've ever played Mortal Kombat 9, his like role in MK9 is just bad. It's boss because he's just like an arrogant ass actor, and it's just like the way they wrote him was just fantastic. He was like a comic relief, but he was also like pretty cool. Like, I gotta say, I do like Johnny Cage in that storyline. By the way, Mortal Kombat 9 had probably the best storyline mode I've seen from a game. They thought that through so well. I am so proud of Mortal Kombat, the team Mortal Kombat, and I don't think it's Midway anymore. It's NetherRealm Studios, I think, but they did a great job with that. And I just saw the trailer. I don't know if anyone else has, but for Mortal Kombat 10, I am so excited. However, the music for that was so... Why Wiz? There was no need to put Wiz Khalifa in that. But anyway, moving on from that, but still, I'm pumped. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to play it. Here come the other Rangers.
And the opponent, from Pierre, South Dakota, the Hero.
Well, the other Rangers have had a limited amount of success. They did make it in the, they did beat, might have been the martial artists by countout. Unless I'm mistaken, which I may be. I need to come up with a log system that isn't just on the computer that I'm recording this with, but they did make it to the second round of the Tag Team Championship Tournament last month, and then they got destroyed by Aquaman and Symbiote Spider-Man. That was an absolute squash. And speaking of Aquaman, which I prefer not to do, but I digress. I've gotten word back from Smoke that Smoke has decided that he is going to give Aquaman the XYZ championship opportunity he gave up because he wanted to be a role model or whatever douchey thing he said. But it's going to be now, tomorrow, Smoke versus Aquaman for the XYZ championship, and I'm really, really interested to see what happens. That's going to be a hell of a match, and I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen. It's going to be very interesting. I'm going to go for Smoke, obviously, because everyone who knows me knows my issues with Aquaman, and he could just go suck a bag of dicks and die. And here we go. Hell in a Cell tag team, although the Cell is not going to play a factor in it at all. I'm going to just tell you that right now. So, pretty much just tornado tag match. Blue Ranger leaving the ring for almost no reason. Johnny Cage looking to follow him. And now Bruce Lee leaving the ring and coming right back in. Referee Luke Goss assigned to this contest. Really only there to ring the bell or call for the submission. There's no rules other than that. Octopus stretch on the or an abdominal stretch onto Johnny Cage by the Blue Ranger. I believe there are no rope breaks in this. I'm pretty sure. And Bruce Lee taking his time to break up that submission, but he was in the middle of attacking the Green Ranger at the time. Now, the winner of this tag match gets 5 points apiece. That's going to help them maybe salvage something and will keep them from elimination. Now, a roll-up. 1, 2, and no. Only 2. A kick out at deuce. And now that cartwheel pin maneuver that is just annoying. But Bruce Lee now with a cover on the Green Ranger. 1, 2. Oh, Lord. And in the process, Johnny Cage threw the Blue Ranger right into the steel and then slammed him into the ring post there. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe the cage did come into effect. And a thumb to the eye. An uncharacteristic thumb to the eye by the Blue Ranger. What's he going to do here? And oh, now just kicking the leg from underneath Johnny Cage. The Green Ranger now has got a knee in the back of Bruce Lee, but you can't see that because Luke Goss has conveniently left himself in a place where you can't see the action. What a surprise. Luke Goss has probably the worst ring positioning of any referee I've ever seen. And now a hammerlock, just a straight-up hammerlock by Johnny Cage. And I'm going to go for the martial artists in this one. I'd like to see them win. And now the same maneuver by Bruce Lee. I'd honestly like to see Bruce Lee win a little bit more. He doesn't get the opportunity. If you remember, nice springboard elbow there. A handspring elbow, rather. And if you remember, Bruce Lee was the man eliminated within exactly 10 seconds in that third Royal Rumble match. That was probably the funniest thing in CIW of yet, I would have to say. I'd be bold enough to say. Standing moonsault off the mark. And Blue Ranger with another thumb to the eye. Uncharacteristically evil right now. Nice DDT by Johnny Cage. The referee is blind. 2 people with the same sign right next to each other. Referee's blind and the referee's blind. You know, maybe a little bit more coordination on your part. That'd be great. At least from the fans' part. You know, maybe like talk to the person next to you and say, hey, what signs you got? But obviously the same. It looks like everyone just brought the same 4 signs. There's apparently 1,000 Diva Search losers. You know, groin attack, take a drink. And, I mean, that's just what happens. Covered by the Blue Ranger, Johnny Cage breaking it up at 1. And the Green Ranger, Green Ranger just hit Luke Goss with a reverse spin kick. And a knife-edge chop by Bruce Lee. Luke Goss looks like he's in a lot of pain. Got hit again. I think just was kind of there at the ring when Bruce Lee hit him. And now, another leg sweep by the Green Ranger. And all 4 of these guys would love to get some points, avoid elimination. Really, a win at this stage in the game is what's going to help you do that. I mean, so long as you've got a win covered by Johnny Cage, is that going to do it? Luke Goss just getting kicked all the time. Cover 1, 2, no. Kick out at deuce by the Green Ranger. Johnny Cage almost got it, and now complaining, bitching to Luke Goss. And I mean, it is Luke Goss's fault. He wasn't up. He wasn't around. Ironic that the Green Ranger is the one who hit the referee, and yet it was the fact that he did that saved the match for the other Rangers. Bruce Lee now just raining closed fist punches onto the Green Ranger's dome. And I wonder if that really does a lot with his helmet. Roll up onto Johnny Cage. Is this going to do it? 1, 2, no. Kick out at deuce again. Johnny Cage this time, avoiding the loss for his team, and a nice jumping leg drop by the Green Ranger. Both these teams, probably the underrated teams of CIW. The other Rangers, they don't get the recognition they deserve. The martial artists haven't been together since probably March, or since February, actually, or February, March, or whatever the case may be. Actually, I think it was these two. I'm pretty sure it was these two who fought each other in the opening round. So this is a rematch. Oh, and a nice kick to the back of the head by Bruce Lee, who's, I don't know what he's doing. Covered by Johnny Cage, not even a 1 count. And now, oh! Bruce Lee with the game of death, that spin kick. That was just brutal. Good Lord. That was just absolutely painful. And now a double clothesline countered by the Blue Ranger. And it looks like these guys are okay. Now you kind of see what I mean, where they will not use the cage at all. Oh, what a DDT. That was a hell of a DDT that Bruce Lee just no-sold. Johnny Cage botching, and Johnny Cage just pulling a botch, rolls up his own partner, and a chop block by the Blue Ranger. And these four men putting on a pretty impressive match right now. Backdrop by Bruce Lee. Johnny Cage now with a couple knife-edge chops to the Blue Ranger. And this has been pretty back and forth, I'd have to say. And now it looks like Bruce Lee is going to lift up the Green Ranger for a groin attack. The Blue Ranger just hit the SPD, I think. Or his version of an SPD, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta flip and look at it. Yes, it was. That was the SPD, in fact. And that groin attack still going on. Take your drink, shove your Sour Patch Kids down your throat if you haven't. And oh! Blue Ranger punched Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage is like, get the fuck out of my face, and clotheslined the shit out of him. Standing moonsault by the Green Ranger, who now accidentally rolls up his own partner. Now both teams have botched. So now that we have that, I think now that that's happened, we can finally have a conclusive winner in this. I would guess is that had to happen first in order for anything to happen between these four guys. So this has been an interesting matchup so far. Spinning heel kick off the mark by the Green Ranger. Now both the Rangers standing tall, and both the martial artists are out of here. And now a counter by Johnny Cage, and now a high half Boston Crab by the Blue Ranger. Almost immediately countered by Johnny Cage, but a nice crucifix head scissors there by the Green Ranger. Another standing moonsault, and a spinning heel kick by the Green Ranger, who's being pretty ubiquitous at this point. He's everywhere. I'm sure that's a word that hasn't been used since Jim Ross was doing commentary, is ubiquitous. And you know what I'd be really interested in? I'd be really interested to see Johnny Cage and Bruce Lee like in an actual fight against each other. And we may see it in CIW. This is the place where you can see that. But for now, they're tag team partners. All four men on the outside slamming Bruce Lee. Johnny Cage uses the cage, go figure, he just got caged, to bust the Green Ranger open. Now a shot into the cage by the Blue Ranger onto Bruce Lee. The cage coming more into effect than I expected. I am pleasantly surprised. I have to say, I'm pretty happy about that. Somebody's been busted open. That's what you got to see in a Hell in a Cell match. I'm happy that happened. And now look at this SPD onto Bruce Lee. And now busy with a backdrop is Johnny Cage. Cover 1, 2, 3. And the Blue Ranger goes for a pin and gets it. Johnny Cage was in the middle of a backdrop and didn't have enough time to get up and break up the count. Only a split second away was Johnny Cage. So the other Rangers pick up a victory here. And in a very impressive Hell in a Cell matchup, I have to say. Great tag team match by these four competitors. And the Rangers are both going to get 5 points, which is putting them out of the red. Luckily for them, Bruce Lee is in a bad place. Johnny Cage is no longer in a good place. He's now under the bar, under the 100 mark. Other Rangers pick up an impressive victory here. Now, your bad pun of the day. Police were called to a daycare today where a 3-year-old was resisting arrest. So anyway, I'm coming. These puns are getting worse and worse, and apologies, but I'm running out of them. So I'm going to keep going with that. I'm going to keep trying to do that. Rangers pick up a good win. My name is The Colonist. We'll see you next time, everyone.